Hi, I'm Anand Narasimhan and you're on Homes of Cricket. Did you know that more than 450 tests and one-day international matches have been played across some top-class venues that stand testimony to India's rich and varied heritage in cricket? I decided to step out of the confines of the studio and try and find out what actually makes these wonderful venues the true homes of cricket. This is a quest to unearth the story and history behind some of the better venues of international cricket across the length and breadth of India. A journey embarked to find out what makes these venues such pristine homes of cricket. And perhaps it is providence that this effort should rise from the east. Hoping for a great beginning to our search, we headed to the city of joy, wherein lies the Mecca of cricket in India, the Eden Gardens. A boat ride across the river Hooghly is a dream come true. But this was a norm back in the days of yore when the people used to get off at the ghat, make their way through the neighborhood commons to the Eden Gardens. I'm going to try and recreate that old passage to the oldest and the largest cricket ground in India. Here we are at the Eden Gardens. Standing in front of this ground, one realizes that this place has an exclusiveness of its own. Ethereal and elusive, this mammoth ground has lent its aura to cricketers past and present, young and old. And one realizes why this place is called the Lords of Asia. Legend has it that the parkland originally belonged to Rani Rashmoni, from whom it passed on to the hands of the Maharaja of Cooch Behar. Another version tells us that it was an extension of the neighborhood commons known as the Maidan. Whatever be the myth, it was the two Eden sisters of Governor General Lord Auckland who nursed and nurtured the huge area into a beautiful parkland. The idea was to make a biblical style Garden of Eden in India. Today, of course, only a truncated version remains. The huge Eden Gardens campus is amongst the biggest in the world of cricket. It envelopes, apart from the cricket ground, an indoor cricket stadium, two indoor sports complexes and the All India Radio building. Now the Wisden Almanac records the presence of the Calcutta Cricket Club as early as 1792, making it one of the oldest surviving cricket clubs outside of the British Isles. Now the club played its matches at the Maidan near the Raj Bhavan earlier and was shifted around the neighbourhood commons before it finally dropped anchor here at the present site of the Eden Gardens. But in 1950, the CCC formally handed over the reins of the historic Eden Gardens to the Cricket Association of Bengal and moved over to its present site at Bollygunj. Thus, an association dating from 1864 came to an end after 86 glorious years.
I still remember a very faint memory. I was just a 6-year-old at that time. India was playing Australia at home. Nawab of Pataudi, Tiger Pataudi was the captain at that time. And you know, we had the Farooq engineers, the Abid Alis and all these people. I saw them for the first time and I glared at them basically. And you had the Ian Chappells and the Doug Walters. They were all part of the team which came here in '69. So that was my first memory, very faded memory, but I still remember, you know, watching those greats in action.
It was during the West Indies series in 1966-67. That was the first time I went into Eden Gardens to see a test match. And that was the actual time when I walked in. And it used to be wooden stands. And it was really a tremendous experience, you know. Heard of players like Gary Sobers and Rohan Kanai, Wes Hall, and you actually go and see them out there. It was something amazing.
Today, the status of the Eden Gardens rests on a pinnacle. From all over the world, it has earned unstinted plaudits of the players and the press. Although the poplars that encircle the ground are no more, the modern-day Eden is a delightful blend of the old and the new. The clubhouse, named after the former Chief Minister B.C. Roy, is a sleek, modern architecture that houses the CAB offices, a medical unit, a sports shop, the players' dressing rooms, dining rooms and conference halls. But the Eden Gardens and cricket in Kolkata rose to a never-before high when its most illustrious son rose to the pinnacle of cricket in India and became the beacon of cricket in Bengal. Saurav Chandidas Ganguly came to the fore when he replaced his elder brother in the 1990 Ranji Trophy final.
Snehasis is a very class player, a very talented player. But in finals, we have to take Saurabh because he can bowl also. After 51 years, once in only pre-independent 38-39, Bengal won the Ranji Trophy under one Britishers, the man called Tom Longfield, who was a captain. After 51 years, I am lucky I was captain of that team, and that was Saurav Ganguly's first-class match. First match he played for Bengal.
Bengal won the Ranji Trophy that year, and that was the debut of one of the biggest cricketers India has ever produced, Saurav Ganguly. He played a very brief knock of 27, but you know, I still remember one more innings, which it's not regarded as an international or a first-class match, where you know, before they went to South Africa, they were playing a warm-up match over here. And Saurav was on one side, and Sachin Tendulkar was on the other side, and he was a delight for every one of us. And Sachin played, they batted first, Sachin's team batted first. I believe Kapil Dev was leading that side, the other side was led by Azharuddin. So Sachin blasted 114. So, and, you know, the entire Eden Gardens was agog. But when Saurav came on to bat, he scored 110. So, you know, that made a match of things. I mean, later on, we all have the pride to watch these two greats becoming the best one-day pair in the world, opening pair in the world. So that was, the sparks we saw at that time.
For so many years, people waited for somebody to arrive on the scene and make the state proud. And that is why possibly every time Saurav Ganguly performed, every time Saurav Ganguly was under the scanner, the state overreacted because the wait has been very, very long.
Ganguly went on to become one of India's most successful captains and played a huge role in making Kolkata the epicenter of cricket in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Now we have on board a local boy whose love for cricket is so consummate that he took up archiving and studying the game as his profession. Boria Mazumdar will join us with anecdotes, events and incidents across the various venues that we will cover. And he debuts at his home ground, his favorite ground, the Eden Gardens. So it's over to you, Boria, while I go into the Victoria Memorial and have a look.
A ground with a 200-year-old cricket history. In the 1830s and 1840s, the military had instructed that you can only install wooden stands because there was a chance of a war. In the 1910s again, during the First World War, there was chances of a bombing here at the Eden Gardens, and these wooden stands had then to be removed. Finally though, nothing happened. Good for us, we have this great stadium, and in 1934, 5th to 9th of January, India versus England, the first test match ever at the Eden Gardens. Douglas Jardine and his team came here from Mumbai. The Calcutta Municipal Corporation gave them a reception, and India, there was always a controversy in the waiting at the Eden Gardens. Mushtaq Ali, one of Calcutta's favorite sons, did not get his letter selecting him for the team. Ali did not know what to do. He landed in Calcutta, so did the selectors. The mob almost hit Duleep Singh Ji for not selecting Ali. Duleep cried out in angst, saying he did in fact select Ali. No Mushtaq, no test was the slogan, but Mushtaq ultimately played. This kind of problem, kind of controversy, romance that Eden Gardens is associated with, once again was in evidence in 1967 during the riots. New Year's Day, West Indies versus India, Shitesh Roy gets beaten by the police here at the Eden Gardens because of overcrowding. Crowds rush in, the police charge, tear gas, lathi charge. Conrad Hunt climbs up the flagpole, rescues the West Indian flag. What an incident it was. Frank Worrell finally convinced the West Indian cricketers to play on. Eden Gardens was saved, and that is why we finally could get our very own Bengal Tiger, Saurav Ganguly, to score his 100 against Pakistan in 2007-8. What an innings it was. And that leap into the air by Saurav Ganguly on scoring his 100 is perhaps the highest he's ever jumped in his life. It may have equaled an Indian high jump record. In fact, to round up with a tiger, if Saurav is the Bengal Tiger, in 1875, Eden Gardens, home to the Calcutta Cricket Club, was about to stage a match between the Ballygunge Cricket Club and the Calcutta Cricket Club. The Ballygunge Cricket Club was on its way here, had almost reached the Garden of Eden when two tigers stepped out from the nearby jungles to stop the team from coming in. The match was cancelled. The Calcutta Cricket Club made the Eden Gardens its home turf. In fact, that's always it has been like. Eden Gardens and Indian nationalism go hand in hand. We Bengalis are provincial, some say, but nationalist at the very core.
Thanks a lot there, Boria. That was wonderful. Now back to that 1967 riot incident. Charlie Griffith, the fearsome West Indian fast bowler, was actually running for his life with tears streaming down his eyes, thinking that the mob that was chasing him to avenge the injury he inflicted on Nari Contractor in 1962 that actually shortened Contractor's career. But the truth was that the mob only wanted to escort him back safely to the Grand Hotel where the team was actually put up. Now this tram line is going to take me to another safe haven, the home of Rasagullas and Mishti Doi. See you there after the break. Absolutely yummy. But the truth is that the Rasagulla is actually from Orissa and was made a speciality by the Bengalis, courtesy K.C. Das and his father Robin Chandra Das. That means Bengal is a second home to the Rasagulla, just like many other cricketers have made Eden Gardens their second home. Anil Kumble is the highest wicket taker on this ground, whereas Mohammad Azharuddin is the number 2 batsman in both forms of cricket, one-days and test matches. You enjoy the records at the Eden Gardens while I polish off these Rasagullas.
Such is the rich heritage of this ground that it possesses an infinite repository of records and achievements. If the likes of Deepak Shodhan, Bishan Singh Bedi, Mohammad Azharuddin, Vinod Kambli, Saurav Ganguly and Lance Klusener made their debuts here in international and first-class cricket, then the likes of Lala Amarnath, Jeff Boycott and Asif Iqbal walked into the sunset of their playing careers on this emerald green carpet.
As a cricket lover, I would talk about Asif Iqbal's last match. You know, one heard so many stories about that test match, about the toss, about everything, about Asif's declaration, which was then it was described as a very sporting declaration. God knows what happened behind the scenes, but what I'm telling you is, the moment Asif Iqbal he got run out, I was present at the ground, entire state Eden walked up and stood up and gave him such a memorable, emotional standing ovation that I don't think was possible in anywhere else in India.
It was also at this very ground back in 1949 that Everton Weekes completed his 5th consecutive Test century. And it was here that in 1960 the late M.L. Jayasimha became the first player to bat on all 5 days of a Test in the 5th Test against Australia. In 1984, Mohammad Azharuddin made his Test debut in the 3rd Test against England. He got his century on the 3rd day of the match. This was also the Test in which the selectors dropped Kapil Dev on disciplinary grounds for playing a loose shot in the previous Test after he had played in 66 consecutive Tests. But the venue has often courted trouble mainly due to the passionate crowds that swarm into the stadium every time India plays here. In 1996, Sri Lanka beat India in the World Cup semi-final. With India crumbling to 120 for 8 chasing 252, the crowd set fire to areas of the stands and started to pelt the fielders with fruit and water bottles. The riot forced Clive Lloyd, the match referee, to abandon the game. Then in 1999, a riot broke out at Calcutta following Sachin Tendulkar's controversial run-out in the Asian Test Championship match against Pakistan. Later, as Pakistan moved towards victory on the final day, the match was played out without a single spectator in the stands. The ground has not witnessed international cricket since late 2007, but the Eden Gardens is now the haven of the Kolkata Knight Riders, owned by superstar Shah Rukh Khan, and the city's favourite cricketer, the Prince of Kolkata, Sourav Ganguly, as its icon.
Now, the Eden Gardens also holds the record for maximum attendance for a test match. The fourth test in Jan 1982 between India and England witnessed 4 lakh spectators over 5 days. But the ground actually became immortal in the annals of cricketing history when a wristy right-hander from Hyderabad in 2001 walked down this very path out into the middle to give India its first ever test victory while following on.
March 2001, India versus Australia. Second test. The visitors were leading the 3-test series 1-0 after winning comfortably in Mumbai. Australia batted first and made 445. In reply, India were bundled out for just 171 and were asked to follow on. The host required 274 runs to so much as escape an innings defeat. VVS Lakshman had been the only batsman to pass 50 in the first innings, and he had batted at number 6. In the second innings, he was promoted to number 3.
I remember saying it in the press when somebody asked me. I said VVS Lakshman should be batting at number 3 if India has to do anything in the series, because what was happening was Rahul Dravid was getting bogged down going at number 3, and you know, if you get bogged down against the Australians, they really get on top of you. So we had to play VVS Lakshman at number 3, you know, so that he could play positive cricket and you know, let not any pressure come on the boys, and that is exactly what the Indian team did in the second innings. When they followed on, VVS got a 281 and Rahul Dravid also scored runs, and India won that test match.
It was just absolutely inspiring to see him get that 281 against the Aussies. I mean, to me, it's the best knock anybody could have played at that highest level. To go on and do it when the team was down when we were following on, and